Yo, what's good, y'all? Hope everyone is striving in the matrix today, and I hope y'all making some type of progress to your goals today. Hey, did y'all know that some people would literally sit through the whole YouTube video and not like the video?
I don't give a fuck.
But anyway, as y'all do know, I am shadow banned. Just please be sure to hit the like button. Y'all, that helps out a lot. And it hopes the channel grow, and it hope it reach more people like you. So please be sure to hit the like button. But hey, y'all, I don't want to hold y'all up, so hey, let's get right into the video. So Ellen is apologizing.
So I have been posting my thoughts and my stance on this, but I haven't spoken directly because I don't know what to say. I am so sad and I am so angry, and I know I'm not going to say the right thing. I know that there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be in disagreement with what I say, but I have a platform and I have a voice, and I have always stood for equality. I have always wanted to be the voice for people who felt like they didn't have a voice, because I know what that feels like. And maybe you don't agree with how it's coming out, but you have to understand it, and then we can heal it. I'm just so sorry that it's come to this. I really don't know what to say other than this has gone on way, 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 way too long. People have gotten away with murder, and that's what's happening. So we've got to see fairness, and we've got to see justice for all, because right now this is not a fair world. Not at all. I don't know if it will ever be completely fair, but we have a long way to go to even get close to being fair. And if you don't understand this, then you have never felt like you weren't heard or you weren't equal. But if you've ever felt that, magnify it and see what's happening. And let's send a whole bunch of love out there and try to find some peace and some communication in this.
Hey, all I gotta say is, hey, the lies that they've been holding up, as we all know, it's crumbling, man. It's crumbling right in front of our face, man. Like, what? I never thought I'd be saying. I used to watch Ellen. I used to watch the Ellen show. You feel me? And now she over here apologizing. She's definitely on that list. She's definitely on that list. No more lies. No more. So this is the inside of the 9/11 building. I need to get out of there, man.
They all left. I'm the last one.
There's nobody up on 23?
No, they evacuated everybody down.
All right, they probably went to the bus. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Imagine being in that. That's scary. I know it's kind of annoying, though. You need it. That's annoying. I'm sorry. That's annoying. But this is crazy. What? Dang, this is an inside job for sure. For sure. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all know about that too. Definitely conspiracies on that. That's a whole nother rabbit hole right there. Go down. Let me see what they say.
There's a whole bunch of smoke and glass, and I think we're just about the last ones in this building right now. I think you should leave. Everybody else is gone.
Okay.
I'll just make sure that there's nobody else coming
What do you think
downstairs.
happened?
I hear the top of the building fell down. Fell over on us. I don't know. I haven't seen outside yet.
Have you, when were you here?
Pardon me?
Here after the planes landed?
As a matter of fact, we're standing right underneath 6th World Trade when the building actually, the plane hit it the first time.
I'm sorry for that noise, y'all. I know that's pretty annoying.
Yeah,
I'm just trying
the
to
plane,
move
the
this
engine
in.
screaming, and then just an explosion. Glass. Then everybody was running around trying to get away.
Have your name and spell it?
Bennett. Bennette.
Sergeant?
No, Secret Service.
Secret Service? How do you want your title?
OST.
OST? Thank you.
All right.
That's crazy, man. Like, this is a real thing that happened.
Whatever fell down out there hit this building.
I'm sorry to all people that lost their lives. Like, you know, sad.
If you're someone who watched Saturday Night Live, then you already know what Lady Gaga just did. For the ones that don't, Lady Gaga just did a ritual on live television, y'all. I know people gonna say, it's just SNL, it's a skit. No, they want you to believe it's a skit. This real life.
Yeah.
We all know what side Lady Gaga is on. So miss me with that bullshit. I'm gonna play a little clip of some of the stuff that happened on live TV that Lady Gaga did. But I'm not gonna add the sound because that shit is demonic. It was like they was trying to cast little spells, saying little words and shit. I ain't with none of the half of that. I'm so disappointed in him. Just look at all this shit. Look. Look, y'all. I don't know what they saying. I cut that shit down. I ain't trying to get no spells cast on me. Look at this. Shit crazy, fool. The thing is, she didn't have to act this out. She being herself. Demon dog.
Definitely being
If you're someone who watched Saturday Night Live, then you already know what Lady Gaga just did.
As someone who read the Book of Enoch and told you that mermaids are real and what they really are, I 100% believe that the elites are eating mermaids, and I've actually been telling you this. When I say the elites, the reptiles, the real fallen angels that fell from heaven and became these diabolical Anunnaki, ancient Mesopotamia, Book of Enoch grifters, they exist. If you are not on the side of TikTok where there was a gentleman who claimed he went to a dinner party where they unveiled they would eat mermaids and tried to get him to eat them, and when he went and tried to leave, he walked into a cupboard where he saw actual mermaids waiting to be eaten, you're missing out. Mermaids are in the Book of Enoch, but they are the children of fallen angels and the angels that came to earth pretending to be God and actually mated with other species. They mated with fish, they mated with goats, they mated with horses. That's why there are different types of Nephilim and different types of giants and these creatures that were left out of the Bible completely. But mermaids have always been on my list of being real, as I keep telling you guys. In the Book of Enoch, it talks about how mermaids or sirens were used for more than just seduction. The Book of Enoch, they are portrayed as completely different creatures. Now, the elites ingest more than just mermaids as creatures. You thought they got the power to sing melodies and actually take your mind somewhere else spiritually through a gift that came from God? Don't get me wrong, there are some that are endowed, but the gift of the fallen was music and seduction and jewelry and basically everything that we use, makeup. It was given to women by fallen angels. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because the mermaid dinner party is real, and I'm gonna reveal why.
Their symbol with the snakes. Pharmakia, the use of medicine, drugs, or spells, magic, sorcery, enchantment, drug-related sorcery. Now the word pharmakia and the root word for pharmakia in Greek are throughout the entire Bible in Greek. For example, Revelations 18:23, I'm paraphrasing, for by your sorcery, witchcraft, pharmakia, all the nations were deceived. Now, different verses that talk about pharmakia and the root word for it, they talk about how it is spiritual division between man and God, and how it is also a form of bondage. Their symbol.
If I told you there are fully functional biodomes on the ocean floor where entire human societies are being raised without any knowledge of the outside world? This isn't sci-fi. It's a classified government experiment that's been running for decades. These domes were set up by a coalition of deep state agencies and private entities looking to create a completely controlled environment, right? No external influences, no history, no outside interference. The people inside are born into a fabricated reality where everything from their culture to their technology is tightly regulated. They have artificial skies, controlled weather, okay, and a fake history designed to keep them in line. Look, I mean, it's dark, okay, because Lord knows what they're really doing with a lot of these folks. I mean, you could only imagine, I mean, by this point, there are hundreds of these separate biodomes with all of these people just living in a completely derivative state of reality. Look, for the sake of my well-being, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a joke for entertainment only, right?
Oh no, that sounds like that could be a real thing. Oh no, what do y'all think about that?
She had a first-hand experience with Ted Bundy.
There is some devastating.
She had a first-hand experience with Ted Bundy. So she's a Ted Bundy survivor. She was waiting for the bus. She was at the bus stop, but I guess it was late or it was delayed. And then, you know, the infamous tan Volkswagen bug-looking car pulls up. And then how she said it, a handsome driver pulled up and was like, "Where are you headed?" So she goes, "I'm going to the university." He answers back, "I'm going to the university too. Hop in." He looks like a trustworthy person. He looks like he's a college student. He decides to get in the car. First red flag that she notices but doesn't really think too much of it, the passenger door didn't have a handle on it. Then he decides to take a detour. She notices right away. She's like, "This isn't the way to the college. Are you going the right way?" And then he's like, "I don't know if you mind, but I have to make a quick pit stop at the zoo." Then they pass the zoo, and then that's when she's like, "Wait, I thought you were doing something at the zoo." And he's like, "I said near, not at." He's basically getting to this part where there's a bunch of trees. She's thinking he's about to try to have sex or try to make out with her, right? And it's gonna have to be awkward because she doesn't want that. Then out of nowhere, they stop. He shuts off the car, inches closer to her, and then whispers in a low voice, "You know what? I think I'm gonna kill you." Out of nowhere, he just starts choking her. She still thinks it's like a weird, sick joke, right?
She's like still giving him the benefit of the doubt.
She knocks out. She wakes up on top of a park bench, right? And he's basically waking her up. You know when like you're knocked out and somebody slaps you awake?
Yeah.
He's choking her in and out of consciousness, like.
There is some devastating news happening all over the world right now, and specifically we're going to be talking about Syria and Romania. In Syria, over the last 72 hours, over 1,300 people have been executed, mainly in the coastal areas, and there's a lot of Christians in this area, and of course a lot of other religious minorities. There is some devastating footage on social media right now, and I was watching this video of this man. He lives in Latakia. He was covering his face so no one can see what he looks like, and he's saying they are wiping out his entire village. There are hundreds hundreds of bodies everywhere, and he is pleading for the media and social media to cover this as they're being executed and they're taking all of their phones so they can't record anything. So just keep Syria and all of the Middle East in your prayers. Now in Romania, thousands are protesting, saying that they are living in a dictatorship. They're saying this because Georgescu, a far-right candidate, has been rejected by the Central Election Authority for running in the presidential election. Now the previous election, he was annulled to prevent him from winning, and now he's being kept off the ballot despite leading in the polls. This is absolute madness, and it seems like this is happening way too much in the EU. So much is happening all over the world right now, so as I get more information, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
Yo, it's like it's always something crazy like this happening in like different countries like this, right? Y'all notice that?
Epstein, who was deeply interested in all these same technologies. This is a whole other side of him that no one talks about, is his interest in technologists and geneticists and all those things, right?
Yeah, well, he had a lot of influence over scientists. That's a creepy move to like take scientists and
throw
bring
parties for them, throw conventions for
Yeah.
them. And a couple of them, a couple of them had some serious accusations, like Marvin Minsky, for example, but I bet a lot of them were not compromised. Like Stephen Hawking. Everyone freaked out when Stephen Hawking was on the list, but it makes perfect sense as you realize that he was throwing conventions on that island for scientists specifically to bring them all together, because that way you get connections, you can get favors, even if you're not blackmailing them. Then they just want to be on your good side because you have all these connections and you can fund all their projects, and you become this integral part of this technological sort of space.
Right, blackmail's not the only tool.
No,
that's a
no.
blunt instrument. There's a lot of just connection.
That dude, something else.
Wow, so your brain doesn't really know the difference between, say that again?
Between something that happened in real life or something that you strongly visualize.
So you could create enough of a visualization for yourself if you really were to powerfully start to focus on it and do that and build that ability to visualize something that your brain at one point would have to think it's so true that the world would meet you and put it into your life.
I love the way you put that.
Wow.
Let's go. So this is how they turn clay into art. Let's check this out. If you're watching this with me, comment clay.
You might not believe it, but this seemingly ordinary lump of clay is essential for crafting an expensive work of art. The final product can be worth 5 figures after meticulous processing by skilled artisans using
5 figures? What? Let me fix this real quick.
traditional craftsmanship. Before production begins, the master craftsman prepares a mold and evenly coats its interior with melted wax, applying multiple layers until the inner surface is covered. Next, he places an iron frame inside, shaped to match the mold, and pours an additional melted wax to secure the frame, forming a sturdy internal support for the next steps. Once the wax solidifies, he removes the outer framework and the inner rubber components, revealing a wax model identical to the intended design. The artisan places an intricately shaped animal figure onto the wax model at this stage. Although its name is unknown, its commanding and majestic presence is undeniable. Once the two parts are securely joined, the foundational work is complete, yet the actual process is just beginning. The artisan then secures the wax model horizontally using an iron frame and pouring a specially prepared liquid plaster over it. As the plaster spreads evenly, it coats the entire structure, eliminating tiny air bubbles and imperfections.
So cool.
However, since plaster tends to crack or collapse under extreme heat before it fully dries, the craftsman sprinkles a layer of fine casting sand on top to reinforce its structure. Since a single layer isn't sufficient, he repeats the process, alternating between layers of plaster and progressively coarser sand particles on the outermost layers. This meticulous layering continues until the mold reaches the desired structure and durability. At this point, can you guess what the artisan is making? Next, the craftsman uses a blowtorch to heat the wax inside, melting it into liquid form so it can drain out of the plaster mold. This process leaves a perfect imprint of the original wax model on the inner walls of the plaster. The mold is placed in a high-temperature furnace to strengthen the structure further and bake out residual moisture and air. After this intense firing, the plaster hardens significantly. The artisan then attaches a long pipe to the mold, serving as an extended pouring channel for the casting process. With this step completed, the outer mold is now ready. But this is only the first stage. The mold requires additional reinforcement since the molten bronze used for casting exerts significant force upon impact. The artisan encloses it in a sand-filled casting box, carefully packing and compacting the sand to provide structural support. Once the mold is fully encased, he seals the design imprints with tape, ensuring no unwanted gaps remain. However, before the casting can begin, one crucial element is still missing: the inner mold. This is where the humble clay comes into play, serving as the primary material for crafting the inner mold. The craftsman begins by rolling the clay into long, even strips using a rolling pin. Then, much like making traditional flatbreads, he carefully presses the clay strips onto the inner walls of the outer mold, ensuring complete coverage. He skillfully smooths and refines the clay to create a perfectly rounded, seamless surface. After placing another casting box on top, he fills it with more sand, which helps shape and compress the inner mold into the desired form. The inner mold, shaped like a jujube fruit, is soon completed thanks to the artisan's expertise. He then applies a release agent and subjects the mold to another round of heating for hardening. Finally, the inner and outer molds are reassembled, forming a complete casting mold. He installs a pouring channel and an air vent at the top to facilitate the final steps. With all preparations finished, it's time for the grand finale: the casting process using the molten bronze steadily melting in the furnace. By now, you've probably figured out what the artisan is creating. That's right. This is a beautifully crafted brass bell.
A bell. Okay, I was right. Look, Oh, okay.
After the casting, the bronze is left to cool and solidify before the outer sand mold is carefully removed. The surface is then
That's tough, I
polished
ain't gonna
and
lie.
cleaned to perfection. The bell undergoes a specialized aging treatment to enhance its antique appearance, giving it a timeless, dignified look. And with that, this exquisite brass bell is officially complete. A true testament to the artisan's extraordinary craftsmanship and
Art.
creativity.
Tough. Dang, that was a lot of work though. I ain't gonna That was a lot of work. If y'all did make it up, comment bell if you was watching the whole time. You're a real one.
I like how you can zoom in and do like the 3D and look at the city and everything. But my issue is that when you zoom out and you go into outer space, this Earth that we live on turns into a cartoon. This is a cartoon now. Where is the real Earth? Oh, that's right. Space ain't a real place. That's why this camera doesn't go into outer space. In fact, I'm going to show you right now where these images come from.
It's not that they wouldn't use the magical floating satellites if they could. It's that they don't physically exist, nor does the globe. They have been sending these up one at a time since it all began. I will allow them to explain it.
It's also the genesis for NASA's newly developed super pressure balloon.
The reason for super pressure balloon is they have absolutely stable altitude day night, and it doesn't matter how cold the atmosphere is. They are sealed.
So your shape is always the same, you always displace the same amount of air, and therefore you have the same amount of buoyancy all the time.
NASA's been using balloons for science research for over 30 years. The exploration that can be done on balloons is continuing to grow. The standard balloon that I fly is about 660 feet long when it's made.
So let me get this straight. It is now public knowledge that they send up satellites on massive helium-filled balloons. As you should know, NASA is the largest consumer of helium in the world, for obvious reasons. But the issue with society is that they never critically think. Just think for a second here. If these are sent up to provide the world with all of the important information we need, and I'm sure the entire process is expensive and difficult to accomplish, then please explain to me, what in the flat world do these pathetic animations do for you? Do they make you happy inside? Are they so super duper cool that you cannot see past the obvious CGI? The fact of the matter is everything NASA sends up on a balloon simply hovers above our motionless Earth. That is why they rarely speak about orbiting satellites, and of course, they never show footage. Here is some footage of a random evening with a man, the moon, and his Nikon P900. Notice anything floating up there?
Get it, Bart. It's so bright out you can't see anything in the sky except the Fox satellite. No, Lise.
And these satellites come crashing down. They fall out of the sky with those helium balloons attached to them all over the world. But you don't hear about it because you likely get your information from mainstream media. And I'm going to tell you why that's a bad idea. The same people that own the news are the same people that are perpetuating this hoax, alright? If you want the truth, you gotta find it yourself.
Planes came crashing to the ground. The failed launch of a balloon carrying a multi-million-dollar space telescope had onlookers scrambling for safety.
You never know what's going to happen. This baby fell out of the sky and landed in our yard. It's never boring on the Welke farm. Thank God there's no horses out or it didn't hit the house. And it's still going and flashing.
Proof is stranger than fiction. That's real, man.
You will never look at holidays the same. Every holiday is actually based on ancient rituals, and you've been participating in them without even realizing it. Let's start with Christmas. December 25th wasn't chosen by accident. Before Jesus, the Romans celebrated Saturnalia, wild feasts, gift-giving and honoring Saturn, the god of time. And the Norse, they had Yule, a solstice festival worshiping the rebirth of the sun. Easter, it's not just about Jesus. The egg and rabbit come from Eostre, the ancient goddess of fertility. These symbols have nothing to do with resurrection, but everything to do with reproduction. Halloween, it wasn't about candy. The Celts called it Samhain, the night when the veil between worlds was thinnest. People wore masks, not for fun, but to hide from spirits. Think Valentine's Day is about love? Think again. The Romans celebrated Lupercalia, a festival of fertility rituals, animal sacrifices, and a lottery where men would randomly pair with women for the festival. Cupid? He wasn't a cute cherub. He was based on Eros, the primal god of passion and chaos. So, are we celebrating romance or something much darker? Okay, but what about your birthday? That one's innocent, right? Think again. You light candles, make a wish, and blow them out. But why? The ancient Greeks did this as a form of fire magic, offering candles to Artemis, the moon goddess, so their wishes would be carried to the gods. Even the Egyptians and Romans only celebrated the birthdays of gods, kings, and elites because they believed it marked a spiritual rebirth. So, when you celebrate your birthday, are you just marking another year or taking part in an ancient ritual? July 4th? America's birthdays or a solar ritual? It's right after the summer solstice, one of the most sacred days for ancient civilizations. Was it chosen for independence or cosmic alignment? And Thanksgiving? It wasn't just about pilgrims and Native Americans. Every ancient civilization had a harvest festival to give thanks, not to settlers, but to the gods. Is this really about history or an energy ritual we never stopped practicing? When you celebrate holidays, what are you really participating in? Hidden energy harvesting rituals disguised as traditions. What if I told you the calendar itself is a system designed to direct human energy? What do you think? Coincidence or something much deeper? I mean, you will never look at holidays.
No, it's not a coincidence. It's definitely something deeper. This is the holidays is energy harvesting. That's all it is. Dude on anesthesia exposes all his secrets to his wife.
A threesome a couple of days ago, and it was great.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You heard me.
I think that medicine got you hallucinating or talking out your mind or something.
I know what I'm talking about. You just stupid. That's why I love you, because you stupid. You believe anything I say. I done cheated on you so many times.
So many times, huh? So let me ask you this. Last night when you said you was going to work, where was you at?
I was at my baby mama's house. I got a baby on the way.
I'm not pregnant.
Anybody talking about you, stupid? I got my side piece pregnant. I'm gonna get daddy.
Don't worry, we'll be back. I'm finna whoop his ass. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. What? Oh, I can't wait to go home and whoop your fucking ass. You finna be right back up here at this ER.
What?
You finna be right back up here.
What?
You got a baby on the way having threesomes and shit. Huh? How? You?
I had a threesome a couple of days.
So we all know Michael Jackson died in 2009, right? And suddenly out of nowhere, this guy, Dave, came out and spoke. He claimed to be Michael Jackson's friend. But the weirdest thing is how similar they look. But I mean, they looked really, really similar. Michael Jackson had vitiligo, and Dave had it too. This photo was taken of Michael Jackson's son recently at a party with an older guy that kind of looks like Dave. Coincidence? This guy also has the same kind of body build that Michael Jackson had. And if this was just one of Michael Jackson's friends at Michael Jackson's son's party, they seem to be awfully close. Like, maybe that's actually MJ. I don't know, I could be tripping, but could Dave possibly be Michael Jackson? They look an awful lot alike. But I mean, the bigger question would be, if he's still alive, why would he fake his death? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to follow, like.
I don't know. I've seen videos about that, but I don't know. How y'all feel about that? Do y'all think Michael Jackson's still alive? Some people say Tupac's still alive. So, I don't know.
What happened in 1947? Why am I out here trying to get close to the Dreamy Draw Dam? 2 books have been written about the UFO crash near the Dreamy Draw Dam. Timothy Good wrote the book Above Top Secret in 1987, and Frank Scully wrote the book Behind the Flying Saucer in 1950. In Frank Scully's popular book, it states a UFO crashed in the Dreamy Draw area in October of 1947. 2 men told Scully they pulled 2 alien bodies from the wreckage, and the remains were stored in a freezer until the Army picked them up.
It was in
It
Arizona.
is said that the Dreamy Draw Dam was built to cover up the remnants of the crash site. What happened in...
The beauty of these berries is that they won't spoil. To begin the berry making, bags of dry mix and coloring are loaded into a mixer.
Dry mix is a combination of flours and sugars that we start the product, bind them with water, and we put them in an extruder, and it's cut into the little berries.
But the berry flavors aren't in there quite yet. Enrobers spray the crunchy balls with a blend of real juice.
A series of several minutes, it dries the product.
Then, those pillow-shaped yellow pieces called crunch biscuits are paired up with an equal number of berries, about 400 a box. They are each weighed, bagged, and boxed.
The time a batch is made till the time it is dried ready is about 20 minutes.
Because the berries are so popular, evolution is inevitable. The beauty of these berries is that they won't spoil. They're made to have just as much crunch as their yellow counterparts.
It's really all about the crunch.
The beauty of these berries is that they won't spoil.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, Captain Crunch. I used to like Captain Crunch, not like that, no. I mean, obviously, I don't eat cereal like that. Nobody, I know none of y'all eat cereal. But my go-to cereal would have to be Pops. If you know, you know. If you know, or the honeycomb. Man, the honeycombs, I can go for those. Hey, put your favorite cereal in the comments, man. I want to know. What's your favorite cereal?
Here's exactly why your soul might be feeling like it's missing something and you're not quite being yourself. So, when you were born, you were given a very unique soul. And through the schooling system, you are turned into a different version of you. You are trained to go through multiple classes that turn you into a version that you aren't meant to become. All you have to do is reverse engineer this process, where you understand, I am no longer in alignment with who I once was and who I want to be and who my soul is dying to be. What I need to do is I need to work backwards. I need to undo all of the opinions from other people, all of the limiting beliefs that have been told to me, instilled in me. You have to listen to your intuition. Your intuition is your guide to get there. Here's exactly why your soul...
Intuition is everything, man. Bro.
LeBron James was cloned and replaced.
Yo, am I bugging y'all or this ain't LeBron? That is not
like he's from Star Trek or some shit. That's not LeBron. Bro, what the hell? Bro. He looks like
That ridge between his eyes were not there before.
I know they ain't sitting there playing in our faces like this. Who is this? They don't pull out the Star Trek nigga and think they can fool us. Nah, we know who that is, boy. That's a nigga in a skin suit. You can just tell, but like, look at the eyes, bro. That is not, this is LeBron. I don't know who this is. Like, this is like a Neanderthal version of LeBron. Look at this man's wife, too. Like, she look like she don't even want to, like, reach towards that nigga. Like, she's looking like, I don't know who this nigga is, but that is not my husband. This is crazy.
LeBron James was.
Oh no, that looked funny. They said that he broke his nose right there, but I don't know. That might just be somebody in the skin suit or something. That don't look like LeBron. I ain't gonna lie.
Came here to try to understand what it's like to be in the animal kingdom. Yes, our physical bodies is a part of the animal kingdom. And if you cannot control your emotions, you will be considered a wild animal. If you do control your emotions, you become a higher being. The people that control this world, they understand this. That's why they always have us fighting each other. Remember, these people, not special, not brilliant. They are evil geniuses that work behind the scenes with spirits that we can't see. All their information come from the spiritual realm. Remember this, the people that control you, they are being controlled. Where do you think they learned this shit from? You ever notice how they keep trying to reset the matrix, reset the dollar, reset the system? The reason they got to keep resetting shit is because they know that we're not supposed to be slaves. And anytime a certain amount of people wake up spiritually, they say, shit, we got to reset this. The spiritual people is getting out of control. Their numbers is starting to grow. They think if they reset shit and push it all the way back to zero, that they can brainwash us all over again. Not this time. That's why they say it's truth in plain sight, because there is nothing hidden. Nothing. If you are looking for something, you can find it. If you are searching for something, you can find it.
Did you know the 7 deadly sins are 7 blocked chakras? And a sin is not an action. You have an etheric energy body. The emotions are energy in motion. If you feel any of these emotions, you waste the etheric life force that's feeding your body. These emotions can quite literally aid you because your body's being fed by this life force. Sin is not an action, but a force that you cultivate within yourself that disrupts the life force within you. Now, I'm not saying that you go out and work on these chakras. These chakras are a result of your own mind. If you gain mastery over your mind, your emotions will fall in place. Work on removing these things from your mind. Thoughts create emotions, and emotions create actions. One last thing, the church is scamming you. Sin is not an action. The devil is not a real character. These things are all inside of you. Allegories and myths to represent aspects of your psyche. Did you know this?
When you hear these stories about these big giant snakes, giant crocodiles, that's real. Where do you think that's at though? Deep in the jungles. And deep in nature. This planet is never ending. This land goes forever.
When he said that, bro, I honestly, I feel like it's really like that. I think it's just endless, even past the walls of Antarctica. I think it's just endless for real. Planet is way bigger than we think.
All this land, it's so much land that they ain't never even showed you that you don't even know about because they only showing you 1 map, 2 maps, 3 maps. Shit, this shit is forever. This land goes forever, man. You talking about the length of the land, of the land, forever. And then it's surrounded by water. It's a lot of land. And then we still have more land that we are cut off from that's behind the ice walls in Antarctica. So this land is forever.
Man, that is crazy. And you was just wondering, like, what are they doing over there? Because they over there, you know. Dang, well, that's crazy. I feel like, and another thing, I be feeling like different states. It's just like it's like another realm. Like I don't know, like, do y'all feel like that? Like when you go to a different, I know y'all feel that. Like when you go to a different state, it just feel like the energies is different there. Like it's like every state has its own energy point or something. That's what I think it is. Yeah. Shout out to Rashad Jamal.
If you want to manifest in things quickly, it's not just the power of your mind, but the power of your heart. Now, it's scientifically proven that the more that you think about what you want, you will attract this into your life. The brain tells the heart what to do. The brain is the precursor. The brain is powerful, but the powerhouse is the heart. The heart is where the real manifestation comes. The heart is 4,000 times more magnetic than the brain. It is 100 times more electric than the brain. Your brain tells your heart what to do to feel the emotions of what you want. If you want a car, it's because you want the feeling of excitement. You want the feeling of impressing others. You want the feeling of fulfillment and joy. That's what you really want. You don't want the medal. When your brain tells yourself that I'm already going to feel these emotions in the present moment, right here, right now, completely for free. Soul wants these energies. It doesn't want this car. No, power of your mind, telling your heart what to feel right here, right now, therefore attracting every single thing that you want 4,000 times faster. If you want to manifest in things,
everything about Superman is literally about you, how you draw power from the sun. You also have a kryptonite, a weakness. Y'all know how kryptonite makes Superman weak? What if I told you that they've been feeding us kryptonite this whole time? Kryptonite is literally radiation, family. The movies, that's how they weaken Superman, through radiation. That radiation stuff keeps you weak. You can even read here, ChatGPT exposing the system again. When you go on a phone detox, you start to get all these psychic powers. You become online, clears, activate, because you're not being affected by the EMF, which is the kryptonite. You are Superman, and this is kryptonite. So every hour you spend outside, you are drawing a lot of cosmic energy. You are becoming a god, bro. Every time you stay on that phone and you spend hours on that phone, you are losing your power. That's why y'all should look into something called a phone hodge. That's where you go on a phone detox if you really want to, you know what I'm saying? Everything turns online. Y'all got to stay away from the phone. Everything about Superman is...
Hey, if you get a chance, hey, do that, man. It's like, what it is, it's like your energy just feel more, you just feel more lighter too when you don't even have your phone by you or something. It's like you can think better. You start having dreams more. Your dreams are more better. Like, man, if you try that, y'all, you get a chance to try that, man. Take some time away from the internet, you know. I'm gonna have to try that. This is China.
Yeah.
What is this?
I don't think I'm buying a house anymore, to be completely honest with you. Welcome to what they call the Lubin Cabin. Now, if you ask me, this looks like a hooked up Airbnb on wheels. I need you to peep the panoramic rooftop. I need you to peep how beautiful it looks with a landscape. Yes, you need to purchase the plot of land. Yes, you need to get the sewage in order. But would you rather pay $600,000 for a 1-bedroom carton? Or would you rather pay $10,000 for this Airbnb on wheels? Yes, you heard me clearly. $10,000 is all you have to pay for this fly-ass spot. We're not talking about no cookie-cutter quality right here. Try to say that.
Hey, do your research. He probably lying. I don't know about that. 10,000 for this? I'm gonna do some research on that.
Fast. They're not cutting the corners over here. And the best part is it could get delivered anywhere in the world. Anywhere. If you could find a plot of land somewhere far from civilization that I've seen a plot of land go for as cheap as $2,000, and Managed to find another 10, 15 grand to do the sewage system and everything else that follows. And get some running water in there. You're looking at under 50 grand for a whole Airbnb. I'll tell you one thing, it's better than paying $654,000 for a 2-bedroom house. Do what you want to do with your life. Do what you want to do with this information, but don't say I didn't put you on. Yeah.
50,000, that sounds about right. Okay. I'm gonna look into that. Would y'all do something like that? Would y'all live in something like that? Yeah, no. Come on, comment, y'all. Say, speak to me. Don't just sit there. I know you on your TV. Whenever you get a chance, you know, you leave a comment, man.
We are the same, bro.
Say what you were saying again.
You speak English? You no? No? Okay. Listen, what you just asked me though?
What a reptilian?
The reptilian comes from the black person.
I said, where you get that from? You said your brain.
Oh, my pineal gland. I got that from my pineal gland. I wake up just to know because I meditate and then I go in the sun and take my socks and shoes off. The reason your shoes are rubber is so you can't get your power because we're electric beings, right?
Yeah.
So if you got rubber, what happens? You don't meet the current, right? But what do they teach you in science? You got a spinal cord that has current through it, right? Your spinal cord has electrical current. No, our spinal cords, not everyone's. You feel me?
So do you know how
the
to shape
Dominicans, the Colombians, the Cubans, the Africans, the Tamaricans, not Americans, Tamaricans. You feel me? We all the same. It doesn't matter.
So who be shapeshifting though?
Shapeshifters are beings that come down. We are the same, bro.
Hey, at least people trying, man. That's what it's about. You know, becoming more aware. That's what it's about, man. Somebody in the comments said he's been watching spiritual soul vids. That's funny, but man, consciousness is advancing, and that's the point we gotta get to, you know. And that's the point we getting to. Consciousness advancing.
Did they just threaten us? Listen to this.
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
Problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're
You're gambling with World War III.
If the grid goes down, information is going to be a powerful resource because nobody's going to know what to do. This is why me and my family are stocking up on these books. How to protect your family from intruders. How to make black powder. How to make a generator. How to make solar panels. My only issue with this book is that it keeps selling out, so if you see the orange card down below, they may be some available.
Definitely got to get that book, man.
How to borrow energy from your future self to quantum jump. Number 1, start by identifying your future self. Ask yourself, what do they look like? How do they move? What do they believe? Write down their daily habits, thoughts, and emotions. Number 2, connect through quantum visualization. Enter a meditative state and visualize a glowing light portal in front of you. See your future self standing on the other side. Observe their confidence, peace, and success. Now imagine them stepping forward and merging their energy with yours. Feel their mindset, emotions, and certainty transferring into your body. Number 3, anchor their energy into your present self. Ask your future self, what do I need to release to shift into your reality? Listen to any intuitive downloads. This could be a belief, a fear, or a habit that you need to let go of. Make a commitment to start embodying their thoughts, emotions, and habits now. Number 4, act as if you are already them now. Start making choices from your future self's perspective. Shift your self-talk to match their belief system. Instead of saying, I hope I can, say, I already am. Move, dress, and carry yourself as if you've already quantum jumped. Number 5, solidify the shift with an anchor object. Use an object such as a crystal, a ring, or a necklace to serve as a physical anchor. Every time you hold or wear it, remind yourself that you are already your future self. Doing so will keep you locked in the energy that you borrowed. Definitely try this out and see how it goes for you. I've done this plenty of times myself and it has worked wonders for me. If you want to learn more about parallel realities and shifting your reality, go get my ebook,
If you take ibuprofen, so watch this.
What is wrong with ibuprofen?
So ibuprofen is an NSAID. It's a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. What NSAIDs do is they cut off the inflammatory cascade. And when you get injured, it takes about 300 days, give or take, for full collagen production and stability to set in. It's a whole cascade. And the first 2 weeks of that, 10 days to 14 days of that healing cascade need to go to fruition for the rest of that cascade to happen for you to end up ultimately laying down really healthy, strong, stable collagen. And if you cut it off in the first few days with ice and NSAIDs, which that's what is usually doctor recommended, right? Elevate, ice, NSAIDs.
Yeah.
You basically shoot yourself in the foot. And so they've known since the 90s that when you give somebody, like they were doing studies in rabbits where they would pith the cartilage in their knees and then they would give them high doses of ibuprofen and the cartilage just would not regenerate. Orthopedic surgeons know not to give ibuprofen because it actually inhibits bone healing after a fracture. And then there's a whole litany of problems that it causes within the body, the cardiovascular system and, the gut and so on. And then when you're on high doses of NSAIDs for a long period of time, if you discontinue them abruptly, you can have a rebound effect where you end up in more inflammation. And so it's a really slippery slope that I think, especially like college or even high school students, athletes get.
We did that a lot in college.
Yeah, there's a lot of NSAIDs and ice, and it's just a really bad way to train your.
If you take ibuprofen.
Dang, man. If you ever broke a bone, you know the feeling, man. How many of y'all ever broke a bone? Huh? Y'all ever experienced that? You don't want to. That's all I'm saying, man. I remember I broke my wrist, man. But hey, that's a story for another day. Did y'all know this about red lights?
Red lights actually heals the body. Red lights actually brings serotonin and dopamine throughout the bloodstream. Blue lights make you serious. Blue lights bring on serotonin. Blue lights make you intense, and it actually kicks up cortisol, or what you call the stress hormone within the body. So when you first wake up and you go outside and you see that little red sun, the sun look like it's red. The reason why it looks red is because it's mixed with red and blue light coding spectrums, and that's to actually bring up serotonin, dopamine, and cortisol within the blood for you can be happy, you can start stretching, you getting ready to want to eat something, you feel real thirsty to drink some water, you getting ready to start your day. Notice it starts decreasing melatonin because melatonin was being produced throughout the night in your bloodstream to actually keep you asleep or keep you in that theta state or that delta sleeping REM state. Because red lights actually heals the body.
That's dope.
Does anyone else feel like they're just too aware of everything? I can't shake this feeling that all of this, our entire human experience, is just temporary, constructed, and ultimately meaningless, like I'm seeing through some veil that others can't. Think about it. The days of the week, someone just arbitrarily decided this is Monday, this is Tuesday, and we all just accept it. It's all made up. The guy that made up currency and street names is no smarter than me or you. Money is just literally paper that someone decided this is valuable, and we all just agreed. We're following systems created by regular people who happen to come before us. I find it fascinating to watch people rushing through their day, stressed about deadlines and status and possessions, completely unaware that they're playing a game they never chose to join. They're so caught up in the matrix of social constructs, they never question any of it. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. And sometimes I wonder if ignorance really is bliss. Does anyone...
It's just, I'm reading this comment. I thought I was the only one that thought this, bro. Someone said he looked like Channing Tatum. What, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but let me show you a picture of who I'm talking. This dude right here. I was like, bro, I was thinking the same thing. He looked just like dude. I don't know. It's kind of crazy though, like how some people can really look like somebody else. Like it's creepy, kind of creepy, right? And then I remember someone told me this, that I don't know, but they said there's clones from like another universe that comes down here trying to be you, basically. I don't know how true that is, but who knows, man? It could be a possibility, right?
Don't feel happy? Fake it. Act happy even if you don't feel it. And I don't mean walking around giggling, jumping up and down, ecstatic. I think you understand what I mean. At least not acting unhappy. How you act is how you feel. But because we live in a very foolish age, the age of feelings, we have it backwards. Act the way you feel instead of feel as a result of the way you act. We have it completely backwards. They have done studies where simply people smiling more, not even acting happy in any other way, has affected their own happiness. If you don't feel happy,
I bet none of you have ever seen this before. That's because they placed the warning label for 5G towers in the exact place that no one will ever see them, which is on the towers. But I'm sure we could have all assumed the obvious here. The signals emitted by this tower are damaging to
This is for educational purposes only, YouTube.
humans, animals, and plants. And no, you don't have to be right beside these things. Damaging exposure can occur up to several hundred feet from this device.
Whoa.
And one of my favorites, frequencies emitted by this device exceed recommended FCC exposure limits. So why do we have limits if we can just have things that exceed them anyways? But here's where it gets very interesting, and I want you to pay attention here. Exposure can
Y'all see it. That's crazy, bro. Headaches, brain fog. That's crazy.
to what's going on right around us. And if you really want to blow your mind, look into the link between the 5G towers and this.
Crazy, man.
So apparently we know of 69 different alien species.
These are cataloged 69 different species, different life forms. There's one species that at full adulthood is about 1.5 feet. There's another species that's 10 or 12 feet. The ones that people often refer to are around 3 to 4 feet, 39 inches or so tall. We have very good forensic drawings from men who've been on the retrieval teams of what these various species look like. The reason they keep coming back, number one, it's not a coincidence that the modern era of all this started when we started detonating atomic bombs. What Edward Teller and Oppenheimer didn't understand when they were developing that is that when you detonate an atomic bomb, you get, everybody knows about an electromagnetic pulse, the pulse that goes out, knocks out all electronic communication. What people didn't know about is there's also a pulse of what's called scalar energy. And scalar is faster than the speed of light.
So apparently...
Alright, y'all. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. Stay tuned. So make sure you guys subscribe with post notification bell on if you haven't already. And if you want to see more content like that, make sure you do subscribe and post notification bell on. And make sure you guys spam up the like button, man, if you haven't already. All right, let's try to get this video to 500 likes. All right, but with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next upload. Peace.